Hello everyone, and welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Marilyn and I'm glad you're here. Well, I'm really glad February is over and we're entering a new month of new hope and a lot of booktube events. And I'm glad I'm feeling better because I'm going to participate in all of my favorite book events that are coming up in March. So what is my favorite book event? Well, as some of you might know, I used to be one of the many hosts of March Mystery Madness, and Lizziefaye from Lizziefaye Loves Books asked me to participate this year, but I had to say no because, like I said, February I've been struggling. But I feel really better now that March is here, and I decided to become an unofficial, if not host, cheerleader of March Mystery Madness. So I hope that's okay with you, Lizziefaye. Now let me just tell you, before I talk about March Mystery Madness, there are other readathons and book events this month that I really am so happy to be participating in. And one of them is the Irish Readathon. Now, even though I have a tiny bit of Irish blood, it's from my Puerto Rican side, believe it or not. I guess the Irish have went everywhere. I have found a book that I'm going to read, and it's because of Pat from Book Chat with Pat, and this was her favorite book this year, I'm pretty sure. And it's called The Queen of Dirt Island by Donal Ryan. But before I talk about that, I want to just tell you about the Irish readathon that's hosted by, and these are new booktubers for me, some of them are, Lauren at the Books, and Aoife, no, I'm sorry, I found the announcement video at Lauren at the Books, but I think it's hosted by Aoife at Words of Clover, and Leanne's channel at Leanne Rose. I also just briefly noticed that Kelly at Books I'm Not Reading has just made a video about the Irish Readathon. So yeah, I'm going to watch that as soon as I'm finished this video. So, as many of you know, Irish literature is some of the most wonderful literature, the most fun literature, and the Irish are great storytellers. And back to the book that was a favorite last year. Now let me make sure that this was a 2023 book, so it's not really new. And it's about, well, women of Dirt Island, and just to give you a brief synopsis, the Aylward women of I know I'm saying this wrong, Tipperary, heard of that, are mad about each other, but you wouldn't always think it. You'll have to know them to know that. In spite of what the neighbors might say about raised voices and dramatic scenes, their house is a place of peace, filled with love, a refuge from the sadness and cruelty of the world. Doesn't that sound just wonderful? And it has, I'm not going to read, partly because I can't read in lime green very well, even with my glasses, but Maggie O'Farrell said that from its opening pages, this book exerts a quiet, propulsive hold over the reader. And I just love Irish novels like this. And Colm McCann, author of A Paragon and Let the Great World Spin. This is a generous mosaic of a novel about the staying power of love and pride and history and family. It sounds really great. It's not a long book. It's a little over 200 pages, and I love that. So this is almost first on my TBR this month. Okay, so, and I have if you watch to the end of this video, I have another book that I'm going to be having my own reading event in April, but that's April. Let's talk about March. Now, the new book event for me that I'm going to take part in is Historathon. And well, down below in the description box, I'll have everyone's announcement video. But Historathon is hosted by Vin, I hope I'm saying his name right, from Reverend Reads. And he's doing a whole year of reading nonfiction history. Now, I don't show much nonfiction history, but I do love history very much, and I want to get more into history. And he's starting with pre-civilization. Now, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but I did get a book that I want to read. I'm not saying that I'm going to read it from beginning to end, but this book is called Rome and Jerusalem, The Clash of Ancient Civilizations by Martin Goodman. Let me just show it to you. And it just shows a beautiful picture of Jerusalem. And I have a story, short story. I met, this sounds bad, but I met two sailors. I shouldn't say I met two sailors. I was introduced at dinner to two sailors from, they were from, I think they were from Chile, but I was asked to take them around with another friend of mine because they couldn't speak English, and I kind of speak Spanish more than any of my friends did. It was sort of a luncheon dance, and when I was taking them around Hawaii, I don't drive, but my friend did. I asked them, well, you know, you've been all over the world. What is your favorite place? And one of them told me, I think they told me that Jerusalem is the most beautiful place that they visited. So that's just a side story. So I wanted to read this book because I have read more religious history about Rome and Jerusalem. And I wanted to see how it matches up with history. And this says that it's, let me first say that it's a magisterial history of the titanic struggle between the Roman and Jewish worlds that led to the destruction of Jerusalem. An important book on a difficult subject, the reason why the Romans, who had so much in common with the Jews, sought to destroy the Jews and Judaism completely. Only one man could have written it. Martin Goodman is professor of Jewish studies at Oxford and has the unique distinction of having edited both the Journal of Roman Studies and the Journal of Jewish Studies. So I guess he's well qualified. And yeah, so I'm definitely interested in dipping into this one. And though this is probably not my favorite time of history, I'm excited to get into the parts of the times of the eras of history that might be more in my wheelhouse. But however, when I did travel, I went to Bath. I was lucky enough to visit Bath, England. And when I was there, we saw the aqueducts that were below Bath. And that was fascinating. And I would like to know more about that. So if you have any suggestions of books about that, not that part of history, but how they were made and how the cities were above it, because I'm really not, this is not my wheelhouse, but I'm interested. So this is the book I'm reading for Historathon. And like I said, I'll have all of the hosts down below in the description box. Okay, so what's the next book? Okay, now we're coming to March Mystery Madness. And I have already started a book. It's a very unusual book. And I want to give a shout out to Kim of Wild Hearts and Wild Flowers, because I'm almost 100% sure she's the one who recommended this book to me. And it's The Night in Question, a novel by Susan Fletcher. Now, it is a pretty long book, and I'm almost halfway through. It's like close to 400 pages, I think. And I thought it was going to be a cozy mystery, and I'll be honest with you, they are not my favorite of the mystery genre, but I quickly found out that it was not a cozy mystery at all. In fact, I couldn't really place it, except to say it's a combination of literary fiction, historical fiction, cozy fiction, mystery, you name it. It has a lot in it. Maybe it has a little too much, but when I finally finish reading it, I'll decide. So we're introduced to the protagonist, Florrie Butterfield, 87, one-legged and of cheerful disposition. Believed she has experienced all the adventures and surprises life has to offer. And she is in a home for elderly people. It sounds like a really nice home if you have to be in a home, actually. And one midsummer's evening, an accident takes place at Babington Hall, the adult residence where she lives, so shocking and strange that Florrie grows suspicious. Was it really an accident, or is she being lied to? Does she in fact live alongside a potential murderer? So it sounds in the beginning like it's a typical, maybe even cozy, because 87 years old, right? And but it's so much more than that. And it has a very, let me just tell you, I had to look up a lot of things because it has a very British English setting, tone, words. But so far, it is a page turner for sure. Maybe there's a little bit, it's a little bit overwritten, but I haven't decided that yet, because if I'm still reading it, then I can't say it's overwritten. But I think that it qualifies for March Mystery Madness. And it says it's a lyrical and emotionally engaging novel infused with mystery and wisdom about love, friendship, and the power of forgiveness. When I first started the novel, I thought, do I really want to read about the things that happen to you when you get old, when I'm experiencing it in real life? But it has a lot of heart in it. So I recommend this book, even though I haven't finished it yet. And thank you, Kim. And I heard that Susan Fletcher wrote a first book that I don't have the name of it, but I will put it down in the description box. And it says that the blurb says it's a wonderful, life-affirming novel, full of surprises, tender of heart, and infused with a spirit as warm and generous as any I have ever read. And this was a new book. It's 2024. So that really counts for new books. Now, going back to the Irish readathon, because that's what I do, I go back and forth. I did read, like I said, Brooklyn, which is also an Irish novel that I talked about in another video, about a young woman who comes to Brooklyn from Ireland, and that's wonderful. And I hope that I'm going to get to Long Island, which continues that saga. I'll have a picture up here, and I won't tell you too much about it, only because it is a continuation of Brooklyn, so I don't want to spoil it. But Colm Toibin wrote both of those books, and one of them, maybe both of them, are being made into, well, Brooklyn has already been made into a film. I know that, and I'm excited to read that. So I'm hoping that March is going to be a wonderful month, and I intend to put out a lot of maybe short videos about March Mystery Madness. And I have, I know you all know Olly from Crimonally, and I'll have his announcement video down below, because he's going to be a host of March Mystery Madness along with other hosts. And it's the 10th anniversary. And just let me tell you what the So they have a theme. It's through the decades, and all the prompts and everything. So I had Olly's announcement video where he tells you everything that's going on. And I guess you pick a decade and you read books from that decade. I think he said he wanted to read the 50s. I don't know if I'm going to do all the prompts, but I'm definitely going to watch a lot of March Mystery Madness because, yeah, there were a lot of hosts that are no longer with us. One is Scott, who passed away recently, and I did a readathon with him. One of my first readathons that I did was with Scott. And we're going to pick a book that honors his memory. And of course, as you know, Janelle was a wonderful proponent of March Mystery Madness, and we miss her very dearly, as well as Alice from Alice and the Giant Bookshelf. We have lost a lot of our wonderful March Mystery Madness hosts and just lovers of mysteries. So yeah, it's sad, but the fact that we're honoring them is a wonderful thing, and I hope that you will at least read one mystery book. Well, I have something. I told you to wait at the end. In April, I told you I would talk about April. In April, I'm hosting, has an Irish theme because it's about the Nolans, who are an Irish family, written by Betty Smith. I'm doing a read-along of A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. And this is the 75th anniversary edition. And I have to say, I read the first part, and I think because I was brought up in that exact area, and I remember things from the 50s, that I can help people who want to join. So if you're interested, I have a list already. I haven't decided if I'm going to do it on Goodreads or Voxer, but I'm definitely going to do a read-along of A Tree Grows in Brooklyn in April. So if you want to join me, please leave your name in the comments so I can put you on the list. And when I say I can tell you, boy, I didn't realize this is the 75th anniversary edition, and this year I will be 75. So a lot of stuff that's in the first part of the book about, and if you know A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, you know it's about the protagonist Francie and the tree that's in front of her tenement. But it's so much more than that. It's history. It's a wonderful, one of the best books out there that you can ever read. And like I said, I read the first half, and even though it took place in 1900, now I'm not that old, like I said, but there were things in the 50s that when they're talking about 1907, 1910, when this book started, that I remember from the 50s. So I think if you have questions and you want to read this book, I'm the perfect person to go with. So I hope you'll join me. I'm going to have a whole recommendation list for March Mystery Madness, and a few other books for the Irish Readathon as well. So I don't know what's happening with YouTube, but I thought I was putting out some of my best videos this last 2 months, and yet my views are like tanked. So come on, YouTube. Come on, as we say in Brooklyn. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I really do appreciate all of you. Like I said, I think there's a booktube channel. Reading is my social life. But coming on here and reading really is my social life. And I love all of you. And thank you so much. Until my next video, which will be soon, I wish you all aloha.